In a bold and highly alarming statement posted on his Truth Social platform, U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday called for the immediate evacuation of Tehran and warned, once again, that Iran must not be allowed to possess nuclear weapons. His remarks stirred a flurry of reactions, particularly amid growing speculation over Iran's nuclear ambitions and the tense standoff with Israel. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've said it time and time again. Everyone should evacuate Tehran now. Trump wrote, "This fiery rhetoric comes at a moment when the geopolitical landscape in the Middle East is already teetering on the edge of broader escalation, and the possibility of full-scale confrontation is no longer far-fetched. If Iran decides to expand its military campaign, the United States is almost certain to intervene, raising the stakes dramatically. But if Iran restrains itself, it risks allowing Israel to maintain a strategic upper hand, which could eventually corner Tehran politically and militarily. Should Iran opt for a nuclear test as a display of power, the regional power dynamics might experience a seismic shift. Otherwise, the two adversaries, Israel and Iran, seem destined to remain locked in a prolonged, low-intensity conflict that bleeds resources and stability. However, any American involvement in such a war would come at an enormous financial cost. According to the U.S. Treasury Department, the national debt now exceeds $36 trillion, and a new war in the Middle East could be economically catastrophic for Washington. This potential conflict would not only have immediate regional consequences, but might also invite global repercussions. If the U.S. enters the war, it risks drawing in Russia and China, both of whom have increased their strategic cooperation with Iran in recent years. According to a recent New York Times investigation, Moscow and Beijing have already provided Tehran with critical missile and air defense technology. A full-scale confrontation might see advanced Russian and Chinese hypersonic missile systems threatening U.S. assets abroad and potentially reaching the American mainland. For China, this conflict could be a pathway to weakening U.S. global dominance, particularly the hegemony of the U.S. dollar, while Moscow would see an opportunity to fracture NATO's geopolitical influence. Historically, global powers that overextended themselves in foreign wars paid dearly. Britain's collapse after World War II and the Soviet Union's downfall following the Afghan War are two of the clearest examples. The United States now risks a similar trajectory. A prolonged war with Iran, backed by other powers, could lead to deep internal unrest and an economic spiral that isolates Washington. On the other hand, Iran, having endured decades of sanctions and military pressure, may eventually recover.